that is matter around us pure. We have started some concepts related to matter in our first chapter, that was matter in our surroundings. So, now let's go on a deep study about the word related matter, that whether matter which is around us is pure or not. So, let's start. Now let's begin with the classification of matter. We have started the classification based on its physical state and then classified into three categories. That was solid, liquid and gas. We have done a deep study on all these three states in a previous video. That was about chapter 1, that is matter in our surroundings. So, let's move on to chemical composition, that is classification based on chemical composition. Now, based on chemical composition, there are two main types, that is pure substance and mixture. And further, on pure substance are again of two types, that is elements and compounds. And similarly, mixture are also two types, that is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Now we will study deep on this. So now this is the classification table. So listen, this is the classification table, that is matter based on chemical composition. Chemical composition divided into two types, pure substance and mixture. And again, pure substances is divided into two types, element and compound. And also mixture divided into two types, that is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. These are the pictorial view of their properties, which we study further on, which will make us clear that what actually these terms are, that is what is element and what is compound, and also what is homogeneous mixture and what is heterogeneous mixture. So now here is a definition of pure substance and mixture, which will make you clear what actually these types want to say. Now, pure substance as the name suggests, that is pure. So, it consists only a single type of substance. It should be very much clear that pure word is pureness. Pure word means pureness, substance. Or the name, so the particles are only of single type. There are only one type of particles. Now, pure substance cannot separate it into other substances. Pure substances cannot separate it into other substances by physical methods. And pure substance has its own definite properties. These all points are obvious. We are clear with the term pure substance, and as this English word itself say that pure means no mixing. English word we can say pure means no mixing. So it has only one type of particles. Now what is mixture? Then mixtures, again the names of that something or the two or more things that are mixed together. So this is the mixture. That is like pure substance has a definite properties. Obviously, there are one type of particles is present in pure substance. So they will have all the same properties. So it has definite properties, but there is a mixture contain different particles. So these properties differ. Therefore, they have a same we can say that distilled water is an example of pure substance and drinking water is an example of mixture, because in drinking water there are many salts and minerals which are added, so it is a mixture. And distilled water means only the water particles, no minerals, no dust or nothing is added to it. So we can say distilled water is an example of pure substance and drinking water is an example of mixture. Now we'll study the classification. As we know that mixtures are classified into two categories, that is homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Now these both mixtures are classified further, that is true solution, suspension and colloidal solution. Now the word says homogeneous. Homogeneous means that we cannot say that two or more substances are present by seeing the solution with that make it ice. We need to perform some activities to find out whether that solution is a mixture or a pure solution. Now for example, we have a solution of salt and water. Now if we pour some salt in water, then it dissolves after some time. Now when we have a dissolved solution, we cannot say just by seeing a glass of water that it has salt in it or it doesn't have salt in it. We have to taste it or we have to perform any chemical reaction or anything to find out. Just by seeing, we can't say the two particles are mixed in it. This is a homogeneous mixture. And we can say that the particles are very small in that. So it is an example of true solution. A true solution is the homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. In that, a solution will have a solvent and solute. Now the component which is present in larger amount is known as solvent, which is generally water or and as a liquid, and other component which is generally present in lesser amount, it is known as solute. Now other examples can be iodine in water, sugar in water or soda water. These are examples of true solution. Now next there is a heterogeneous. Now what is heterogeneous? Word says heterogeneous means we can find out that there are two substances with naked eyes. We can say that by just seeing the two substances are mixed with each other. Now if we mixed chalk powder, in water, what will happen? The chalk powder will settle down and we can say the two substances are present easily. Similarly, if we mix sand in water, then also we can say there are sand particles. and two substances are mixed. So we can see that it is known as heterogeneous mixture. Now suspension and colloidal solution are an example of heterogeneous mixtures. Now, what is the difference between these two terms? As suspension is a heterogeneous mixture of two or more substances. For example, sand in water and chalk powder in water are two examples of just give you. Now then, what is the colloidal solution? Actually, colloidal solution is a solution which lies between the true solution. Here you can see, this is the example of colloidal solution. Colloidal solution is a solution which lies between the true solution and suspension. Here you see colloidal solution between the true solution and suspensions. What does it mean? The size of particles is larger than the particles in true solution, but smaller than the particles in suspension. That is, by seeing first time we will say that it is a true solution, but actually it will be a heterogeneous solution. Now a colloidal solution defining will be same as that it is heterogeneous mixture of two or more substances, but the difference between suspension is that we cannot first time see and say that the two particles differently are present. So the example here are mixture of starch in water, mixture of egg albumin in water, milk and some dust added in smoke. Now we cannot say at the first type, but eventually we understand something is mixed. So it is known as colloidal solution. The particles size increases in this order as the diagram clearly says that the two solutions have very small particles that they dissolve easily with the particles of water already required or the solvent which we have mixed, and then in colloidal solution the particles are bigger than the present in true solution, but they are smaller than the present in suspension. This is the difference between all three. Now here are some properties which are related to suspension, which is an heterogeneous process, and the properties are: solute particles can be separated by filtration, and solute particles can settle down and the solution is unstable. Now third one is solute particles scatter light and the path of light is visible. Now the next term concerned is an effect which is known as Tyndall effect. Now what is it? It is when a beam of light is passed through a colloidal solution, the colloid particles scatter the beam of light and the path of light becomes visible in the solution. This effect is called Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect can be seen when light enters a room through a small hole due to scattering of light by the dust and smoke particles. Now it is very lively example which we observe daily even in a houses, that when a small window, a ray of light or a beam of sunlight is entering, then this path of light is visible. Why this is visible? This is so because there are dust particles present in air all around which scatter the particles of light and help the light to scatter. This actually is Tyndall effect. So now Tyndall effect can also be seen in the dense forest due to scattering of light by water droplets in the mist. This is all about Tyndall effect. Now we will study some techniques which will help us for the separation of the solution, which are heterogeneous solution or homogeneous solution, or we can say we learn the separation techniques for the separation of mixers. There are 6 types of methods for separation. First one, evaporation, then second, magnetic, and then third, filtration, then it's distillation, then chromatography, and then last, sedimentation. We will study all about them deeply in. Now moving on to the very first type, that is evaporation. This is a method for separating volatile components, that is solvent, from a non-volatile component, that is solute, by heating the mixture. Let us see one simple example to see evaporation. First of all, fill half a beaker with water. Put a watch glass on the mouth of the beaker. Put few drops of ink on the watch glass. Now start heating the beaker. We do not want to heat the ink directly. You will see that evaporation is taking place from the watch glass. Continue heating as the evaporation goes on and stop heating when you do not see any further change on the watch glass. Observe carefully what happens. Ink is a mixture of dye and water. We can separate water from dye by the method of evaporation. Here the water evaporates from the watch glass and mixtures with water in the beaker, and dye is left over on the watch glass itself, which is a solvent. Now the next process is centrifugation. What is centrifugation? It is the method of separating denser particles and lighter particles from mixture by using a centrifuging machine. For example, if we take some milk in a centrifuging machine and spin it rapidly, the cream separates from the milk because cream is less dense than milk. In daily life, we see packets of milk which are rated as tone, double tone, and these all are basically based on the rate of centrifuging. That is, how much cream to be separated and how much cream is to be added. This process is known as centrifugation. Now the next process is decantation using separating funnel. What is this method? It is used for separating mixture of immiscible liquids. That is, liquids are separated into different layers depending on their densities. For example, if we take mixture of kerosene oil and water in a separating funnel, it forms separate layers of oil and water. The water can be separated by opening the stop clock. After the water flows out, the stop clock can be closed. So it is very simple method to separate kerosene and water using decantation method. Now let's move on to the next process, sublimation. What is this method? This method is used to separate a mixture of a sublimable component from a non-sublimable component by heating the mixture. So let us understand this with an example. If we heat the mixture of ammonium chloride and common salt, the ammonium chloride sublimes and can be cooled and solidified and collected, and the salt is left behind. When two substances which are sublimable and non-sublimable is nature, then one substance on heating gets sublimated and that can be collected in another dish, and it can be solidified and cooling, and thus the two can be separated. This process is known as sublimation. Okay children, today's our session over. Today's homework from page number 15, 1 and 2. These two questions, and from page number 16, properties of solution, total 4 points are there. This, and from page number 17, properties of suspension, first point, and here total 3 points are there. This, and page number 18, properties of colloid, total 5 points, and same page these 3 questions, and page number 20, applications of separation of immiscible and decantations. These are you have to write and learn them, and soon you have to send me. Thank you.